Have you ever felt like you're busy all day but still feel empty at night? Like you're living, but not really living? That feeling has a name. And this book explains it beautifully. When I first came across the word Ikigai, I couldn't even pronounce it properly. It sounded like just another trendy concept from the internet. But the more I explored it, the more I realized that this is not just a word. It's a way of living. This book slowly pulls you into a calmer, deeper way of thinking about life. Then, instead of pushing you to chase success, money, and validation, it asks you something much more important. Why do you wake up every morning? What actually makes your life feel meaningful? And honestly, most of us don't even stop to think about that question. The authors begin by exploring the lives of people in Okinawa, Japan, a place famous for having some of the longest living people in the world. But what makes this fascinating is that their long life is not just about genetics or food. It's about lifestyle, mindset, and purpose. Many elderly people there are still gardening, walking, laughing, teaching, creating, and contributing to society even in their 80s, 90s, and beyond. They are not just alive, they are actively living, and what connects them is a strong sense of Ikigai, a reason to wake up every morning feeling needed and valuable. One story that really stayed with me was about elderly artisans who continue practicing their craft for decades. There are people who have been making noodles, pottery, or traditional crafts for more than 60 years, not because they are forced to, but because it brings them deep satisfaction. They don't retire mentally. Their work is not a burden, it's part of their identity. And it made me reflect on how many of us today feel exhausted in our 20s or 30s because we are disconnected from meaning. We are busy but not fulfilled. The book also explains that Ikigai is often found at the intersection of four things: what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be rewarded for. But what I appreciate is that the authors don't present this like a strict formula. They emphasize that Ikigai doesn't have to be one big career or passion. For some people, Ikigai is their children. For others, it's teaching. For others, it's art, learning, helping others, building something, or simply being part of a community. Your Ikigai can evolve over time, and that's completely normal. A big theme throughout the book is the idea of slowing down. The people studied in the book don't live fast, chaotic lives. They walk more. They eat slowly. They have meaningful conversations. They laugh often. They stay socially connected. They don't isolate themselves. And when you compare this to modern life, endless scrolling, loneliness, anxiety, constant pressure to achieve, you start realizing why so many people feel empty even when they are successful. The book also explores the concept of flow, which is one of the most beautiful psychological states a human can experience. Flow happens when you are doing something that fully absorbs you, something that challenges you just enough, something that you genuinely enjoy. You lose track of time. You forget about stress. You forget about yourself. Many artists, writers, athletes, and creators experience this. And according to the book, when you find activities that bring you into flow regularly, you are getting closer to your Ikigai. It's not about forcing passion. It's about paying attention to what naturally pulls you in. Another aspect I found powerful was how the book connects purpose to health. It suggests that people who have a strong reason to live tend to experience less stress, better mental health, and even better physical health. Not because they never face problems, but because their life feels meaningful enough to handle difficulties. That idea is so important today, especially when so many people are struggling with anxiety, burnout, and lack of direction. The book also gently challenges the idea of retirement. In many cultures, retirement means stopping work completely and losing structure in life. But in Okinawan culture, people don't retire in the same way. They continue doing what they love, contributing in small ways, staying engaged. Their purpose doesn't expire at a certain age, and that's such a powerful reminder that meaning in life should be lifelong, not limited to your career years. What I personally loved is that this book doesn't feel like pressure. It doesn't tell you to find your purpose immediately or you're failing. Instead, it feels like a calm guide holding your hand and saying, it's okay to explore. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to take your time. Your Ikigai is not something you suddenly discover in one dramatic moment. It's something you slowly uncover through experience, curiosity, and self-awareness. The book encourages you to notice your energy. What activities make you feel alive? What conversations energize you? What topics do you naturally research without being forced? What do people often come to you for? These small clues are often pointing toward your Ikigai. And when you start paying attention to these signals, you begin to understand yourself on a deeper level. By the time I finished this book, I realized something important. Ikigai is not about having a perfect life. It's about having a meaningful life. You can still struggle. You can still feel lost sometimes, but when you have even a small sense of purpose, life feels lighter. You wake up with more intention. Your days feel more valuable. Your effort feels worthwhile. If you're someone who feels stuck, confused about your future, tired of chasing goals that don't feel fulfilling, or simply looking for more meaning in your daily life, this book can be incredibly powerful for you. Not because it gives you all the answers, but because it helps you ask better questions about yourself. And maybe that's the real gift of Ikigai. It doesn't tell you how to live your life. It helps you understand why your life matters. As we reach the end of this review, I want you to pause for a moment and really think about your own life. Not about what society expects from you, not about what social media tells you success should look like, but about what genuinely makes you feel alive. Because that's what Ikigai is truly about. It's not about chasing a perfect life. It's about building a meaningful one, slowly, honestly, and in your own way. You don't need to have everything figured out today. You don't need to have a 5-year plan. You don't need to know your ultimate purpose right now. Sometimes your Ikigai starts with something as small as curiosity, a book you enjoy reading, a skill you like learning, a conversation that energizes you, a moment where you feel present and peaceful. These small moments are not random, they are clues. And when you start paying attention to them, your direction begins to unfold naturally. This book reminded me that life is not a race. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to start asking better questions about yourself. And maybe that's the real journey. Not becoming someone extraordinary overnight, but slowly becoming more connected to who you already are. Thank you for giving me your time, your attention, and your energy. Until the next book, take care of yourself.